Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are back with another Shelf Talk, and today we have a special guest.
Special guest. This is our first guest.
It is Kate Kaufman. You guys loved her episode. She talked about a lot about displays and merchandising. She is also an ex-Anthro employee that has her own brand. Why don't you introduce yourselves, everybody? Kate, we'll start with you since I just kind of introduced you.
Great. Hi. I'm so happy to be back. Thank you so much. My name is Kate Kaufman. I own Grease and Glitter Studio in Vermont, and I offer retail merchandising, store design, and custom window displays, mainly in Vermont, but expanding into the greater New England area. And I'm really excited to talk about holiday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then we have my cohort, Miss Susan.
Miss Susan on the mic. Miss Susan on the mic, who has fresh manicured nails.
You're lucky.
That's all you need to know today.
I'm sorry, but after Dallas, my hands are trashed and I have yet to go take care of it. But because there's not that anyone needs to know about this, but in Oregon where I live, there's not a lot of opportunities to get manicures and pedicures here. And those places that do them, you have to they have a fucking month-long wait list. So I am nailless on 2 fingers. So
oh my God.
You see it in the viewing. We figured, or I figured when, because it's show season right now when we're recording this, Dallas is actually going on right now. And, a lot of people do their buying in January, but for the most part, I think a lot of us do our buying during this show. And it's also fourth quarter. And I figured, since everyone's at the show right now, we should probably talk a little bit about how we do our merchandising, how we start planning, all the things that create this holiday magic. Because it is July, people are doing their buying, and it is time to start, kind of your planning. So I figured this is the podcast for us today.
I know, it's great. And because Atlanta was early, it feels odd. It still feels odd to think about.
Weird.
Holiday, even though it's just because Atlanta's already done and in the book. So, whereas normally it's kind of happening now, isn't it? Atlanta, pretty soon.
Okay, so usually Dallas is the first show, then
Dallas is first, and then Atlanta. That's right.
They just basically flip-flop dates. Is it same kind of window?
I still think it was pushed up even earlier than normal.
Because it was weird.
They definitely flip-flopped and then went up a bit. So, yeah, very weird. And so you got to get in the mindset. And especially so many people who worked Atlanta have the 4th of July holiday off for the first time ever.
And they never do. I mean, I think they take it off, but a lot of them will, like, when I was
on vacations.
When I was there a couple years ago, it was 4th of July, and we worked that day and then we had that night off. Mm-hmm. And then you go back to work the next day.
Yeah.
This is the first time I think ever any merchandisers or showroom managers have actually we're done. Like, your season's done. They don't have anything to do till January.
No, seriously, I have a full vacation moment happening here. I don't know what's happening. But that's okay. That's good. This is good. This is really exciting. And I think a lot of people have been enjoying it. But yeah, so Dallas, exactly. Dallas happening now. And then Vegas will roll in after that. And then the New York's after that. And then Finito for a while. But holiday, what's happening in holiday?
I have questions. I said this before. I for those who listen, I've said it often. I don't do pre-questions because I hate them. I think it sounds super contrived and it just makes a very unnatural situation. But something like this, where it's the 3 of us and talking about something, I felt like I needed some kind of boundaries, because if not, you've all heard this podcast. I just end up going off God knows where. So
we'll be on a tangent 2 hours later. So
it's probably best I have some boundaries. So today,
totally fair.
A lot of us, like I said, it's show right now. So the way I in talking about planning, it's for me, when I walk the show, this show, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Like I always preach, I go to the show early and I walk the show for at least one day so I can kind of get an idea, because there's a lot of repetition, and I've often written orders and then I see the same thing, 4 hours later, and I'm like, now I'm having to cancel orders. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go and walk it. But this is also where a lot of times I get my ideas, because that bow thing, it's still very big, but the bow Christmas thing, it's great to go because you get some of the showrooms. I mean, Raz, Creative Co-op do some of the most amazing displays. And
They really do. Yeah.
that's where I think a lot of us get inspiration. But I wanted to find out from you guys, when do you, Kate, you don't do the shows like we do, and you're really with retailers. How do you do your holiday planning with your retailers?
Yeah, so this is something I've been working on over the years to try and sort of get ahead of things instead of getting like last minute, like, hey, can we get a holiday display? It's, November. So I really start to think about it in July, and I actually just had 2 meetings earlier this week, or I don't know what day it is, but yeah, earlier this week. With 2 different clients about like, let's start talking about holiday. But really it's like, we need to have sort of like a plan in place by August. And then, especially for displays, like window displays, I am prepping from like September to October with, a targeted November install. Yeah.
How early? Okay, go ahead.
From being in Anthro, you guys are, I mean, it is so planned out. So for the Anthro, are you kind of keeping the same? Because when I was merchandising, I kept the same hours that I did with Anthro. I'd get up at 4 a.m. and I'd be in the stores at 5. And I very much kept that because it worked. Do you kind of keep the same timeline as you were in Anthro? And if not, what is the difference?
Like in the stores, you mean?
For holiday rollout and whatnot and planning and all the, because
yes,
display coordinator, so you guys were way, way, way ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of depends. So Vermont specifically we're very tourism based. And so holiday is big, but what's actually a little bit bigger is foliage season. So that is, I mean, no one really knows when the peak is, but it's like around September, October. And so it's actually like quite a big push to get the stores from a merchandising standpoint, like sort of like flushed out a little bit earlier than a traditional holiday area.
That's what I was going to ask. How early do you start for you, like with your retailers with that? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more probably like August is when people start thinking about it. Like Labor Day, I always mix those two up. Labor Day is definitely when like the crowds start coming in. And so just working with retailers just to like bulk out their sales floor. Some of my clients I'll do like a like fall themed window, which is really fun. Just like all the different colored leaves and leaning into like the oranges and the reds. And then it's sort of like nonstop up here for retailers, because then you have to get ready for holiday. So it's just like the snowball just starts to build.
I love it. Yeah. And so with your retailers this year, how early do you have schedule? Oh, what's on your schedule?
So it's pretty crazy. I'm like almost booked out for the year with new clients and just like filling out, which is crazy. But I mean, I'm working with, last year I worked with the town of Randolph through a state funded grant to do holiday decor for the Main Street area.
Oh, so cool.
That's amazing.
Cool.
That is awesome.
Put artificial pre-lit garland on 29 storefronts.
Nice.
And so I'm hoping to work with another town. We're still sort of negotiating it. But to do that in another town. So that's like, I mean, I need to like order the garland by the end of next month, in July, probably. It's just like a lot for something like that. It's a lot of logistics. And then working with the independent stores on that main street is like an extra like layer of that.
Wow.
But yeah, it's really like planning in August, building. in September and October, and then just like sprinting to install everything in November.
Right.
And then like maybe like one or two in the beginning of December. But I do like something, this was a little like tip from, or like tactic, I guess, from West Elm when I worked there, is they did, and I don't know if Anthropologie did this, but I remember it at West Elm specifically, is they rolled out like stages of holiday. So we do like in early November, you do sort of like the pre-holiday.
Yes.
And then the week of Thanksgiving, you know, you're like for getting ready for Black Friday. And then in December, I think around like the second week in December, depending on when Christmas is, they'd roll out high holiday. And like that would be when we're adding like bows and like gift wrapping everywhere, like just like, smack you on top of the head with holiday. And that's something that I find really helpful for my retailers in Vermont, especially with like the foliage like rolling right into holiday. Is sort of like staggering it like that, so that you're not just like, whoa, we just had Halloween and foliage and now it's hot, like here's a Christmas tree.
Exactly.
So you sort of like layer it, you know, and then, oh, sorry.
Oh, no. I think it's like, in what, because I've used the same one. I think we've both used the same approach of like exactly doing a different, you know, rolling things out. What have you found that product wise, and I have my own opinion, but I'd be interested to hear yours, product wise comes first? And what comes last that hits the holiday?
Good question.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I can retire now.
I feel like the big gift sets, like that's maybe like one of the last things where you're really just like, here, like buy this whole gift. And this is, I think I touched on that in our last conversation with Michelle, was like doing these gift guides so that you're really just like taking the like friction out of the decision making for the customers. I feel like that, and then anything, you know, like specific product would be like the themed like gift wrap and like anything that really is like Christmas, holiday gifting, like the red, you know, candy canes, that kind of stuff. I feel like that you start layering in for Black Friday, but really it's in December that stuff starts to come
feels
out.
like though mid-December feels late, especially because, you know, because it's like, I always say it's like, you know, the Hobby Lobby effect is like, those guys fucking roll Christmas out. Like they have trees out now. So by mid-July, end of July, because whenever I'm at the show and we need Christmas shit, that's sadly, that's where I have to go. And they actually have it all in stock. But, you know, because retailers are fighting against, you know, them putting it out. And then by the time most regular boutique retailers who roll it out, Hobby Lobby and Home Goods already have that shit on sale. And it's like, it's so hard, I feel like, for the poor retailers, like, you know, you don't want to shove it down people's throats, but I wonder, like, for West Elm, like, if that affected their sales against, I mean, I guess they're kind of on their own. I guess they're not really competing, but so many of these small retailers, I feel like, are competing with the Home Goods and Target and Hobby Lobby that bring it in and knock it down, like, you know.
That's where I feel like I think it's important to just like, it's about the experience. And I think that's where working with the merchandiser is really helpful, is like, you can go into Hobby Lobby or Walmart and like get smacked over the head with Christmas, or you can like go into this boutique and it's like a curated experience. And I think that's like really important. You know, obviously everyone like floods the sales floor with like all the product. You want it to feel super full for holiday. But I still think that some of the principles of like having some negative space and having like a moment of visual calm is really important. And like, I love looking at like trends for holiday, but a lot of times I just work with the retailer for like what makes sense for their brand. And so like also doing holiday in like a, you know, bespoke way tailored to that retailer makes it feel so different than like going to Michael's and just getting like a generic
Right.
tchotchke or whatever. Like you're going to the boutique to gift something for someone that you're like really intentionally buying for, or that's what the hope is. And so like curating and merchandising the store with that customer in mind, I think like really separates them from the larger chains.
Yeah.
It's going to, pardon me, sorry about that ding dong text message coming through. Going into a boutique is such a, when we talk about the experience, that's something we love to talk about here, is it is 100% about that experience. I love going into a small business, a small gift store, and experiencing how that store sees the holidays through their eyes. Because it's true. It's like, I know what to expect at Michael's or any of the big, and if I need to get a bolt of, red grosgrain ribbon, then I might go there, but what I'm not going to find is very tailored to me items, gift wrap, and things of that sort. I mean, I think I feel I buy more for myself practically, and then just happen to give a feu things too.
Yes, I remember that shopping with you in Atlanta.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wait a minute. I think I just bought everything for myself. I'm like, I should start thinking of others.
Susan, when you were doing your retail, what was your planning? What did it look like?
Oh my gosh. I guess we had certain rollout dates. I mean, depended, at the hospital, storage was such an issue that I had to plan and roll out accordingly with where I could store things until I needed to get it on the floor, but always did sort of a big reveal. And in the hospital, it was very specific to, we waited till after Halloween. That was a big thing for them. Like, wait till after Halloween, clear that. At first it was wait till after Thanksgiving, and that's a no-go.
I feel like it's been so condensed in the last 2 years the last 2 or 3 years. It's like November 1st, people have holiday out.
Exactly. And so then I would do a big Christmas reveal, but there are certain things that I always pulled out first, no matter Halloween or not. And one of them honestly was Fraser fir or candles.
Yeah. Oh my God.
To get that out there, because it blends well with fall anyways. And so things that you could, I think, like you were saying, Kate, that just sort of softly start speaking holiday, but can blend with fall. So Fraser fir candles were one of those. I also would bring out holiday cards, because people who still buy greeting cards to send are thinking that early. So, of course, unfortunately, that, used to be a huge thing, and now that has slimmed down some, but even at the bookstore, we would wait till after Halloween, and then we would do an all-nighter big reveal the next day. Well, okay, maybe not all-nighter, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Kaboom!
I start rolling out Bristol Farms Christmas October 20th. Like, literally, the front of the store is the Halloween balloons, all the candy, the decor. And as you look into the grocery store, it's lit garland everywhere.
But it's so interesting because it's a grocery. So that's like your clientele is going to be a totally different beast,
They do it, they're really smart. Like, they rolled it out early, like 5 years ago. It was one of the marketing guys' ideas. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, we're going to try and get ahead of the curve, because what happened in COVID was that they do like amazing pre-made meals, amazing. Like, you can do a smoked turkey and this and all the sides and the whole thing. And during COVID, they didn't roll it out early enough, and they rolled it out and it sold out right away. And there was no way of getting more to continue on those sales. So now the marketing department rolls out they start putting the table out and start putting out like the flyers for make sure you order your holiday meals. And so they start dripping water on it. And then I think day after Halloween, they start the tastings.
Okay.
And so it's all like that nod for people in their head, like, oh yeah, I have to remember, I've got to do but it is weird. I'm not going to lie. Like I have to start psyching myself up into it because like, I love Christmas. I'm not going to lie. Like I start playing Christmas carols in September. Part of it also mentally, so I can
it's to get you into the game of doing it.
But it was super weird last year because we started in Palm Desert. So it's like 80 degrees. I'm by the pool, knowing I got to get up and we got to go to the grocery store tonight at 9 o'clock when they close because we're starting to hang garlands. No amount of Christmas carols was going to fix it. It was like, this is so, for Lucy's, it's interesting. I was looking at my schedule because this will be my second year with them and we're doing the buying at the shows. And I was looking, so we're going to roll out, I think it's going to be Halloween and Christmas. We're rolling out in September. Like it'll be layered for the Christmas for sure.
Right.
Like, because I'm not there, so I need to make sure there's a footprint of it so that Brittany, who does the merchandising there, so she knows where it's going and she's already had all the spaces up because she's still kind of new. And it's like the idea of these big flips, I'll do the big flip with them. And then we have place markers. Okay, this is where this is going to go. When this goes away, Halloween, there's your second hit of hit Christmas. And when fall goes away, there's your third hit of Christmas. So I have to kind of roll it out, but I got to start with at least one table, which, it's weird. People, I think the thing I hear the most is like, people are like, oh my God, Christmas already. But somebody said, I think it was Barbara from Daisy's was like, the people that are complaining about it are often the first ones who buy it as well. And she's like, they have like the record sales. And she's like, even with the people, the naysayers of, I can't believe we're rolling it out already. She's like, we had record Christmases. Because
there's always going to be people who will complain that it's too early. Always. It could be like the day before Christmas. And it's like,
I mean, people go to Hobby Lobby and complain too. I mean, that's my question.
No, because I know it's like, that's what they expect there or something. I mean, but okay. So with like Lucy's, for example, what kind, or do you know yet how you'll first introduce it to people? It's not going to be a slap in your face, or is it going to be like, this is just one of multiple stories we have over the season?
No, I usually concept when I merchandise. So we had not a substantial amount, but we had enough of like Creative Co-op did these cute little felt pink and white tree ornaments. And so I have enough of those left because Creative Co-op, like Two's company, sends you 18 to 24 or something. And even though it's distorted, it's still that color. So I have enough of this pink and white thing. So I'm going to have to build something around the pink and white.
Yeah.
So, I'll roll out the concepts, as so what we open with, I'm not 100% because I don't have a lot from last year, luckily, and they didn't have anything when I came into it.
I mean, and that's how it should be, honestly. That the ideal is that you're not playing with a lot from the year prior.
The only thing I have from the January shows, because I learned this, I should know this, but I'm in the industry, but Cody Foster. We had ordered Cody Foster ornaments the year before, something like that, and we got like 3. So this year, January, I'm like, I hate ordering Christmas in January. I hate it because it just, for me, it's like I've just gotten off of living in Christmas land.
See, I feel opposite. I love ordering Christmas in January. Certain things.
Most people do.
Because my brain is like, oh yeah, like for some reason it feels. I don't know how it feels. I
fought it, but I knew with Cody Foster and I was with Lucia.
Yeah.
Lucia and I were together, play off each other's energy. And it was like, oh, look at this. So I'm not even completely
I can just imagine that, especially.
I'm not even completely sure. I know it's all food related. Mm-hmm. So I think it most likely will be like something that has to do with food that I can probably take everyday items that aren't quote holiday, because I go back and forth of wanting overt holiday Christmas stuff, but that's all the shit that goes on sale. And that's the stuff when I said the Hobby Lobby thing, it's usually the decor stuff. It's not like you're buying gifts at Hobby Lobby. I don't, but it's that decor stuff. It's the wreaths, it's the platters. It's so, I'm totally just like, wow, that just went right out the window.
Your brain train.
But I want to make sure what I'm rolling out, we're kind of reinventing everyday items so that I can put a ribbon on it and it can play back into some of these food ornaments. So probably now that I'm saying it out loud, that's probably what I'll roll out first.
Because I can feel like, things like cutting board, like, okay, let's talk about food. If this was going to be, and Kate, please just jump in here because we'll talk over each other a lot sometimes. Michelle. So let's say a more food centric display, but with an early holiday. I imagine things like cookbooks, cutting boards, more serving platter things mixed with then food ornaments that are, so you're not overtly you're not like cramming a tree. Everyone knows what an ornament is, so they're not going to be surprised to see it. So, maybe there's linens and things of that are going to play towards Thanksgiving into holidays. So greens, maybe not, Santa red yet, that type of thing.
Yeah, I like that. I one of the things that I think I had talked about
food products
is the display, like your everyday products, you can make them look like holiday just by adding ribbon and maybe a twig of like rosemary on a cookbook. Because cookbooks are so pretty if you put the ribbon on the inside of the cover and tie it on the front so people could still page through it.
That's a good idea.
Tie a little rosemary.
That's a really sweet one. Yeah.
And that could be, so that sounds like I just worked out my Christmas. Thank you, ladies.
There you go. Oh, you're welcome. I'm here for you anytime. Kate,
I like doing what you were saying, Susan, especially like leading up to Black Friday, because I feel like there's like traditional Christmas gifting. And then there's also like people do a lot of hosting for the holidays. So like that's a great way to like lean in, like sort of dip a toe into the holiday and like get people thinking about that. Cause you're like, okay, it's Thanksgiving now, but then we have Friendsgiving and that might be the only time I'm seeing these people. We're doing a gift exchange and like, it's just an easy way to sort of.
That is a good one. With Black Friday, does that in your world and working with retailers, is that still a term that your retailers are really using and experiencing, or are they playing more towards Small Business Saturday? Or is there anything new this year that retailers are like, we are neither nor, and we're just doing this other thing? I'm curious.
I definitely think the Small Business Saturday is like huge here.
Right.
But I think what has happened, I feel like this has happened in a couple different areas. It just is like, it just gets stretched out. Like it used to just be Black Friday.
Right.
And then like now there's Black Fridays, Small Business Saturday. I can't remember if there's a little
Cyber Monday,
but there's Cyber Monday, which is really big for a lot of small businesses that also have an online storefront. So it just tends to be this just like extended, it's just like pick a day and you'll get a deal kind of thing. So I think like, I don't know that Black Friday is like the day per se that like they're doing their like record sales, but it's certainly like the weekend of, and I definitely like everybody still wants their displays done that week.
I would imagine.
I wish I could split myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, how does your, how does that week look for you? Pardon me. Let's say you're in one particular town and you're just like cruising down the street, a little here, a little there.
So it's interesting because I, aside from the retail world, I have a contract that I install artwork for an interior designer at a ski resort in Vermont. And so it's like a multi-year contract. And unfortunately, the fall one falls in November and it's like 2 weeks. I am unavailable, like totally blacked out. So it is a bit of a scheduling, like noodle, I guess. Just sort of I'll sort of like, yeah, basically I just work 7 days a week, and it's like I'm looking at my calendar over here, and like the first week of November is like, let's get as many installs in there as we can for stores that like want to do displays early. And then, yeah, like I don't go home for Thanksgiving anymore. Like I just work through, and like, it's fine. It's just, I feel like I'm so used to that from Anthro and West Elm, where you're just like, this is my, like, my mom's a tax accountant. So I'm always like, this is my tax season. Like, I
think that's a good way to put it.
Talk to me right now.
All the years that I worked on Thanksgiving and would like,
I do take the day off now. But it is like, I'm basically working like as many possible hours leading up to that. So I just work with, every store is a little bit different, and it's like some stores will be closed on Sunday, Monday, or they're not closed at all during holidays. So it's just sort of like getting all of the information from everybody, finding out like who's like, I absolutely need this like on the day before Thanksgiving versus someone who's like, it could be the first week of December or like early November. And then I just sort of like piece it together and then start calling people to be like, who's available to help me?
When does your schedule taper off?
Oh God, sorry. December.
Yeah, I love that. December.
It's really interesting. Like the last couple of years, I keep trying to like tell myself that I have a slow season in the winter. And then like I'll get a new store opening in like January. And so it'll be like, I'll have like a little bit of time off. But I do feel like around like the weeks between Christmas and New Year's are usually pretty quiet because...
Do you strike the displays that you do for holiday, or does someone else reinvent for them? Or do they are like, okay, we're good to go. We'll take care of it.
It depends on the store. This is actually a program that I'm hoping to roll out this year. I'm working on it right now, where I want to do a holiday rental program where, for a set number of weeks, we set up the artificial trees and garland and decorations, and then you rent them for a certain amount of time, and then we strike it down and
that's huge. That would be huge. Just storage alone for retailers.
So I have an embarrassingly large collection of artificial Christmas trees that I've just collected over the years.
Listen, and we all have something that's an embarrassing collection of.
I have like 3 trash cans of garland that I just sort of collected from like old clients or stores that have closed. And I was like, I'm paying for them to sit in my storage unit. So, and a lot of retailers just don't have the space. And so, I have lots of like other ideas for them, but this year I thought that would be,
that's really smart.
That out.
I have a question. I'm gonna, and this is sort of, how would you, and this is partially, I'm also asking for my own benefit too. How would you approach, maybe you have a client in mind, someone you want to work for, someone you want to do something for. How would you approach them?
Love this question.
I do, because I have someone in my mind.
Also, I think I've gotten
work for that, not in the showroom, and so I'm going to say a retailer, and actually someone that I have in mind that I want to see about doing some work for. It's actually a hotel, so you have just spilled it right there. And so, how would you approach? But go ahead, Michelle.
I'm glad you're asking this, because I'm just going to butt in here. Is because I have, from Kate's and your couple of our past podcasts, I have a lot of new up and coming, because a lot of merchandisers, it's funny, who have been listening to, actually I have a call with one today at 1 that have said, you guys, you talked about who's the next generation. And I have some young merchandisers. I say young because I'm 60, so 20s, 30s, whatever. But like,
are you speaking of Jasper? I know I saw Jasper's name on, one of the things you're doing, this is an aside, but not an aside, with Vashon Pharmacy. Oh, in your Seattle. And then it was on one of your little things. And then I saw Jasper's name, which is, she was
one of the people, at the
that spoke.
At the end of the term, the speaking engagement, I
love it. She is a sweetheart, and because I worked with her a little bit when I worked with Vashon Pharmacy a little bit way back in the way, and she is one of those like next generation, like who comes up, who starts,
Yeah.
and she's so sweet. Okay, sorry, that was a total
See,
aside.
this
Go
is
ahead.
what we do. This is what happens. Like, this
And
is,
now, next thing you know, we're talking about.
but this is why I love these
This is
conversations,
good.
because it's
Okay.
it's natural. But I, whatever I was just saying.
And Jasper, if you're listening, hi. Okay, so no, but about next generation merchandisers and how do you approach clients, or, I have ways that I approach clients. I am not afraid of the cold email concept. But there's also part of me that's like, I want to present an image, a concept, a look to someone. And I'm like, oh, I don't want them to go, that's great, Susan, peace out, So, Kate, in your experiences, what have you done for, how have you worked this out? Or do most people come direct to you?
It is, most of my work clients are referral based from other clients, which is great. I also do spend quite a bit of time networking in like the spring.
Yeah.
We just go to like all of the local small business networking. There's Vermont's amazing. There's so many like women focused networking groups. It's just
awesome.
like so much more approachable for some reason.
Yeah.
Just because women are lovely and warm and inviting.
Just like this conversation we're all talking.
Yeah. And you just like start chatting and then like, but there have been a few times when I also, I'm not afraid of a cold email, and I have gotten more comfortable with it. And yeah, I try to I'll like lead with like how I think I can help them. So like I usually start by following them on Instagram. And then I'll like sort of not like stalk, do some research, we'll say.
Yes.
Just like, what do they have
them a little
going
bit.
on?
It's okay.
And like if I know that they're like rolling something out, or they're like thinking about opening a new location, actually that specifically is usually how I reach out. Is I'll see that someone's opening a new store. Those are my favorite types of projects. And I'll just email them and be like, hi, my name's Kate. Like, this is the company I run. Here's my website. I saw that you're opening a new space. I have an opening in my schedule or availability in that time frame, and I specialize in merchandising new stores. And here are some local clients that I have worked with, either that are like in the same industry or in the same town, or like a lot like larger. Like where like name drop a little bit, I guess,
100%,
where it feels like appropriate.
Yes.
And then I include my website. I recently included the podcast link on one that I did.
Good.
Just to sort of like,
and like your Instagram and everything, because it allows them to be like do secret intel research on you, and you're like,
exactly.
Okay, she's not a total
and I try to like keep it
out of the blue.
I try to like really make it sound like me, so that it's not, because I get all kinds of like weird like auto like marketing things where like, you need solar panels on your studio, and I'm like, that's not
or be like, Susan, I hear that your network is looking for this. I'm like, what?
I get it for editing the podcast, and I get it for, you want to reach more people. I'm like, no,
I know. It's like,
not your way.
Your network, you're just like, exactly, it's these auto things.
But and then like, and then I also, this year I included, I've started doing all of my like initial meetings over Zoom. I use Google Meet, but I have like a link on my website that's very easy to see. Thank you to my business coach who told me to do that. So you just like book a consultation and my calendar comes up. So it's like super easy for people to do that. And so I'll include like that link and be like, if you, because I find that like the amount of time to like email back and forth to try and find a time that works for everybody, everyone's lost interest at that point. So that's what my approach is. And then I just, I stress about it until I hear from them, because I come off really confident, and then I'm like, oh my God.
Do
little
you
bit like me.
do you research like who to contact to and like, all right, oh, it's David or it's Mary who does this, and sort of.
Honestly, the stores are like usually pretty small that I'm working at. So it's just like the owner, or if I can't find out like who the owner is, I just email like
Yeah.
the info ad or whatever they have on their
something like
website.
That's great.
Yeah.
Susan, look up who their general manager is. That's who probably
General manager.
that would be the person
Like
that
what
also
in
has,
the world of hotels? Yeah, general manager. Thank you, ma'am.
So, okay, next thing is you talked about windows and planning windows. The people that don't have their own props, what is everybody's suggestion on propping? Because, like there's storage issues. Some people own some stuff, some people don't. So talk to me about how you go about that and, like budgetary wise, like what it looks like because you do a lot of hands-on building things. So, what does the propping look like? And where do you do it? Where do you source it? Where all the things? Let's start with Miss Kate.
Okay, I have like a whole list here. I
feel like I'm on a talk show.
I came prepared.
So I think like the easiest type of propping to do that's super low budget is just taking your old boxes from your shipments and wrapping them in craft paper and picking a ribbon that like is seasonal, and like that's what you're going with. I like to have like a ribbon of the season. That's so easy. It's so affordable. Just don't break your boxes down. And it's not like stores are getting shipments in all the time. So you don't even have to like save the boxes, assuming that you're just getting your shipments in regularly. So craft paper is super cheap. You can step it up a notch and like get a themed like wrapping paper if you want. I personally am a big fan of like solid color matte wrapping paper. I think it's just like a little bit more elevated, and I would say you don't really you're not wrapping a present, you're wrapping a prop that is supposed to just sort of like tell a story but not distract from the product. So yeah, keeping it like kind of neutral and then having the ribbon be the pop. That's super easy. I also like using the galvanized like bucket collection at like Michael's has some good assortment usually every year. That's just like, I don't know, there's something about buckets. I wonder if it's because in Vermont sap, like maple syrup is a big thing. So like sap buckets. So I just sort of do like, galvanized metal bucket or container with like ribbons. That's really easy. And then
Are they like holding merchandise or the tree, or how are you utilizing
I like
this bucket?
all of it. I will flip them upside down and use them as a riser. Like sometimes you have to like
bend the sides.
Bend the sides or like cut them off or whatever. But that gives you a nice height, or you can fill it and then like you talk about that a lot, like put filler in it and like prop it up. The other type of props that I really like using are sleds. You can get those like Michael's sort of like vintage sled is great. And then like a little stack of like birch poles that are like cut kind of small and like put a ribbon on that. So cute. And I kind of go back and forth. It depends on the store and like what their holiday aesthetic is, but I do not hate the fake snow.
Oh my God.
But again,
sometimes I do.
What's the aesthetic of it?
Oh my God. All I can think of is using fake snow. Stephen Young's very particular, and everyone who knows Stephen showrooms, it is the Stephen Young way. And it's very clean. It's very tidy. And Lisa, his wife, and I, who do the displays, Lisa and I will whip out the bag of snow, and you can just see him over in the corner crunching. And he already has like the broom out and the little vacuum out. And I love fake snow, but that's all I can think about is Stephen and it's like,
I find that if you do like the blanket of snow, like that, like sort of blanket, and then put the loose snow on top of it, it like contains it a little.
That because it also layers it a little bit, which is good.
And you don't have to use as much because it's got like a white background. I would say for like an easy display, I love like any like monotones, mostly white, like white and like glitter, like on sticks or branches. You could also do like one that's like a pop of red. Like I think painting like natural items are like a solid color is just so modern, and does, I don't know, does something for me. And then you can like add in like, or like gold, like white and gold branches, like hanging over a table or in your window display. You could also do that with like skis or sleds. Just sort of like, that would be like a sort of cleaner approach to a holiday. And then you can go a little more rustic and traditional.
I love that, especially like the wrapping of boxes. I did that with a Merci display last holiday season, and again, yeah, like the matte solid colors, sort of the old Paper Source solid, which I haven't, I was able to find what I needed actually at a Paper Source, but I don't know. I mean, probably online you can get more, obviously. They used to have just like, it used to be Waste Not Paper, and I don't think Waste Not Paper exists anymore, or Paper Source was Waste Not Paper, and they had a huge variety of all solids, which was amazing, and they were really good. Yeah,
it is kind of hard to find some solids. I've found some on Amazon, but then sometimes you get the rolls and you're like, there's not that much on here.
You're like, thanks.
Or it's not wide enough to do big boxes. That's think because I suck at it, but I know when it comes to the big stuff, it's so hard.
Well, for like risers though, you don't, if you're really just using them as risers, you don't have to wrap the bottom. Like you can just it's a fake wrap. Like you don't, I sometimes find that's better if you just sort of like tape it under the bottom, like an edge of it, and then like wrap over top, fold the sides. It actually will like sit flatter than if you like totally, because wrapping an empty box like does have a little bit of.
I can't even get the corners, and like my husband's like, his wrapping, he does all the wrapping because mine look like
wrap his own gifts.
Mine look like a diaper. Like literally, it's like folded over and kind of.
That's why they make gift bags for you.
Yes.
The gift bag moment.
While I have my like bone, like crisp lines.
Yeah, now Dave can do it though, but he's also a carpenter, so I mean, it makes sense that he can. The eye and
it's
his wife.
Interesting because so in the showroom, I use a lot more props than, and I mean, I used props in retail stores as well, but in the retail stores, I used a lot more props that I sold as well. So when I think of holiday, I think any trees I bought, I also sold. And thankfully, they always sold towards the end. So I usually held on to them for quite some time, or I priced them at a point where they weren't the most like, no one was going to buy them quite yet. So I had them for the display for the majority of the time. and then they could, sell off. Because I love, and we love pedestals. We love things of that sort. I didn't have a lot of space to use great props. And I didn't have a window that, not necessarily a window that I would do a display in. Do you find, Kate, the props used mostly in a window situation compared to doing something that's like, a table inside, or how does that work for you?
No, I feel like, I mean, it feels like it depends on the retailer. But like I did one of my stores is like a interior designer, has a boutique. And so she mostly sells furniture out of it, but then she also has like seasonal and like smaller items. And she doesn't have like a traditional window display. They're more just like bay windows.
Yeah.
And so last year we did, I took a birch pole and like drilled 2 holes in it and hung it over a table, and then wrapped garland, like artificial garland and twinkle lights around it.
Nice.
And like that was her like Christmas destination. So like we sprinkled some like light styling on the other footprints and like the vignettes, but then that table was like, she had this like adorable felt garland and little like felt bunny ornaments. And so like, that kind of stuff, I feel like you don't really need that many props because the product, like you said, is doing the
prop
display
itself.
and like,
Yeah.
but like having that birch as like the sort of beacon that like this is the holiday area.
Yes.
Was great. And then I strung some of the product garland, like the felt balls and stuff like on it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, 'cause
And
it's
then
also
we
for
had
people
some,
that
like,
don't want the Christmas in your face screaming Santa snowman. That's a lovely holiday display.
Yeah. Fully. I mean,
yeah,
green.
it's so pretty. Yeah.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
I have another question, unless Michelle, you have a specific question.
You ask. I love that.
Okay. I came up with a question. It's like, what is your dream like installation display, Kate? Like if you didn't have a client, the client was this open book and you want to create something like for this season, for this holiday season. And you're like, I have this idea in my head and I want to create a tower story. La 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 la. I'm curious.
So my like passion, what I wish I could just do is like sculpt with flowers. So like my dream installation would be like a sculptural, like winter themed, like floral installation.
Oh, that would be cool.
With like birch trees and lights everywhere. Which I like would love to do, and then I'm also just like I don't know what client would pay for that because it is so
decor.
like yes, accent decor would totally.
Yeah, they would totally do that.
But I sort of saw that in reality. 2 years ago, we went to Chamonix, France for New Year's or like over New Year's to go skiing. And all of their storefronts, it was so amazing. Like in the whole village had these like dimensional floral clouds is what I'll call them, on the outside of their building. And it was freezing there. So like it was fresh stuff, but they had like, everyone had their own aesthetic. There was like, whites, natural, gold, silver. They had like some people painted palms. And then like some people had ornaments like wired onto them. And I just thought that was such a fun and like festive way to like extend the winter season. And that's especially something up here in Vermont is like after the holidays, then it's ski season. So like, again, it's sort of like nonstop for.
Truly it is. I mean, like foliage, holidays, ski. There you go.
Yeah. And so like, that's another thing I try to think about with holiday installations is like, we like build up to high holiday and then we also de-holiday, but it's like the days are so short up here. It gets so cold that people like need that festive spirit, but like it's not, people are like, I don't want it to be like Christmas anymore. So really
I still want hot chocolate, but could you take away the Santa?
Yeah. So like we'll keep like the garland and like lights up, like keep the green and white. Birch trees, like again, are just super, they grow everywhere, but like they're super neutral in that way. And then adding any type of like gold or silver glitter, just to like brighten the dark days.
It's also nice too, because I think like your stores look so amazing at Christmas time and they're lit up and they're beautiful and there's carols going and then boom, it comes down and your store just feels so wah, wah, wah. And
I know, it's like empty and cold.
I was going to say that like transition out of holiday from like a product assortment standpoint is also like is hard. So I think like still kind of keeping some level of like festivity, if that makes sense in your like geography, which definitely does up here.
Yeah.
And then, I also find it's hard in like the spring because like it's still cold here. Like I could have, so we'll get warm. It'll get warm like in July. And so like, one of my stores this spring, she's like, I have dresses and it's snowing outside. Like, and so like we like lean into like a lot of like cashmere layering and like you're still wearing shearling lined shoes. Like let's make it feel spring.
Oh my God.
Like you're going to go on vacation warm, right? So you need something for vacation.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So we're heading into, we're going to split this interview up in two because I can already see like how much we're talking about and how detailed. And I know everyone, just based on all the DMs I'm getting, I know everyone loves these conversations. So we are going to stop this now.